Okay, take 3 of this intro. The first take, the microphone wigged out. The second take, I was using a webcam as a stopgap measure. It was too horrible to use. So take 3 is on my phone. Hopefully this will suffice for this intro because I want to get this show into your hands as soon as possible. There may still be time to get this before Christmas, although we are running out. So this is a StackStone upgrade. And the StackStone was a really cool and pretty well featured all-in-one, very high quality build that we reviewed 5 or 6 months ago. They contacted me recently and said, hey, do you want to check out the upgraded version? I said, why not? Send it along. If we get it before Christmas, we'll try to post it so folks can see it in time for the holidays in case they're looking for a turntable. And sure enough, it got here just in the nick of time. So I wanted to rush this video out to you ASAP. And let's take a look at these upgrades and see what it's all about. You're not going to want to miss this. And here it is. This is the StackStone unit. It's a bizarre thing. It's really, really high quality. The last one we reviewed sounded great. I was really surprised when they contacted me again, but they're like, yeah, we've got these upgrades and we thought you'd want to take a look. So definitely want to share those with you. Now they're going all in on the StackStone and Jamo collab, and they can only be better. So they sent me a list of the specific things that they upgraded, and rather than just re-review everything, I want to focus on those new things and see if it really is any different. So let's get her open. Gifted the last one to a friend, and he's still using it. He says it's great. Works absolutely perfectly. He was, looking to get back into vinyl, and it's a great option because, he didn't want to spend the time or energy getting, all new everything, speakers and all that stuff. Hope everybody enjoyed the Vlogmas content this year and the Christmas content. We're not done yet. We got more stuff planned. It was a lot of fun doing the giveaways and things. In fact, I think the final round of turntables should arrive for folks that won on Monday. So congratulations to all the winners. And that's good news. So I went back. This is interesting. I don't remember what this is. Like a little feed screw. I don't know if it's a lift mechanism. I'm not sure what that is. This is the unit that comes with the tweaker tool. And this is fantastic. I use mine all the time now. When you need to adjust the pitch or any sort of small screw, this is actually a ceramic tip. I've previously called it a plastic type of material, but I knew it couldn't be plastic because plastic would just get all chewed up, and but this one doesn't. So yeah, that's a ceramic tip, and it's non-conductive. That's the biggest thing. So when you're adjusting trim pots and things, you don't want a conductive tool, and this one is non-conductive. So really cool that they did that. Somebody actually today in a comment on another video asked about this, and I put a link there that he could acquire a 5-pack. So yeah, these are great. I'm glad to can't have too many of those. We got the alignment protractor, and we've got a cheap 45 adapter. By the way, 45 adapters right now are on hold until the new year. Working on a couple of different things. Working on some retooling and possibly some redesign efforts, as well as a new exclusive color now that the Christmas colors have been rolled off. All right, so I got another piece of tape over here. It does come with this now playing record stand with and it's like a bamboo. You can see the end grain there. Slot there as well as right there, which is really, really cool. Still have my other one as well. My friend got the turntable, but I kept a couple of the bells and whistles. What he doesn't know isn't going to hurt him. So that's that. And there's the unit itself. So again, I don't want to do a complete re-review. Let me go ahead and get this set up, and we'll take a look at some of the improvements. All right, so here it is. This thing is nearly 30 pounds. And until you're lifting 30 pounds, that doesn't sound like much, but it's hefty. And it's, I don't perceive much plastic here whatsoever. It's this wood veneer, and we've got, this is a plastic sub platter, which I remember this has a pretty dang good bearing. Yeah, A really, really nice spindle there, really smooth action, well lubricated, etc. The platter itself is, it's either cast iron or steel. It's definitely not aluminum. It's got a nice powder coat, very, very hefty and substantial. So yeah, that's that. What we need to do before that, though, is I want to flip this on its side and look at one of the upgrades, which is an anti-slip technology. So I'm guessing better feet is what that means. So I'm going to do that while the tone arm is secured. And yeah, I see rubber feet down here, just solid rubber feet, nothing too exciting, but yeah, that'll do the trick. It's definitely not going to slip. I know another upgrade is they upgraded the base port tubes. So each side has these, and they do look different than what I remember from the other ones. So those base ports should help there. Also, while we're looking at the side, the top plinth is on a separate suspension than the base unit to help isolate vibrations from the speakers, because it's really nice speakers. And with that base, you don't want the vibrations getting back into the turntable mechanism, the tone arm. So this is a really nice technology to help isolate that. And then spinning it around here, we've got the same base port on the other side. On the back, since we've got it handy here, we do have the pitch adjust right here, and that's why they include the tweaker tool. The 15-volt power supply, RCA output jacks, built-in preamp, and then the grounding post in case you are using an external preamp. It's really hard for me not to go into full review mode. I'm having to actively remind myself I'm not reviewing the whole thing again. I'm not reviewing the whole thing. We're just talking about the upgrades. All right, so put our belt on there. There's nothing to fasten the platter to the sub platter because it's so heavy. It's just the weight of it all, and it's got great mass inertia, which will lead to good spade stability, low wow, and flutter. Another thing they say that has been upgraded with this collaboration edition is the speakers. So Jamo speakers, better speakers than before. You can see right there the drivers aren't huge, and those are apparently, they look like a paper driver, maybe a silk tweeter. I love how this grill just plugs in right there. Stereo speakers, but you know, with that, I mean, that's 6 inches, 7 inches of separation. Unless your head is, 2 inches in front of the speakers, you're not going to hear stereo separation. This is more of a fill the room with sound kind of a device. And this is, I don't remember this, like kind of a rubberized, textured branding there. And then we've got the StackStone branding. I've never heard of these guys until 5 months ago when we reviewed the first edition, but I would recommend it. I think it is a really, really good unit, and not having the other one side by side, I may miss some subtle differences, so you'll have to go back and watch the original video. I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the description as well. It looks like we have the same 3600L cartridge. It would have been nice if they would have upgraded that. Even going from this like $15, $20 cartridge to like a $30 or $40 one would have been a meaningful investment, and I think that would have gone a long way. Not that this is bad. There's nothing wrong with this. This is good. It can sound fine. But yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. Also, keep in mind as we go through this, it's a $250 piece of equipment, but it includes the speakers, preamp, everything's all built in, self-contained. It also receives and transmits Bluetooth, so you can hook up Bluetooth speakers to it. You can hook up your phone and listen to your phone through these speakers. Any of that stuff works absolutely well, at least according to my previous review. The feature set is there anyway. Yeah, so let's see, remind myself, that's a metal tone arm, plastic, but nice looking plastic, head shell, non-removable. It is slotted. You can upgrade that. There was one thing I remember from the previous review is that there was no anti-skate applied. So I'm going to test and see if that has been updated. It wasn't one of the advertised things that they changed. One of the best features of this, both from an aesthetic standpoint and a quality standpoint, is this whole assembly here with the metal plate, the toggle switches. I learned that those are not dip switches, those are toggle switches. Dip switches is what you use to program your garage door opener. And a metal knob, good drag. I mean, the hardware feels good. It's heavy, it's robust, and I think that counts for something. Absolutely. I still think that even $250, I think that's a good price point. Here's the weight, an interesting way to do the weight, and it's got a little rubber sleeve, and I can install this without even, according to them, without even floating it. I just slide it up to where it says 2.5, and that is going to be the sweet spot. Speed is kind of a moot point considering it's adjustable, so I won't test that again either. But let's go ahead and see about this anti-skate. Put it on LP mode, turning it on. Interesting angle. The tone arm sits at a bit of an angle, and it is spinning. I need to put something on there so that you can see that it is spinning, and nothing would work better, in my opinion, than a pocket rocker. So the way the anti-skate should be set is if I drop the stylus here on a flat disc, it should move to the center and hold position. And if I put it in the inner part of the record, it should hold position. It should not retract all the way to the inside. So let's see what we got. Yeah, I don't think there's any anti-skate applied. Yep, it goes all the way in. Let me drop it in the middle. And again, it should hold position, and it's not. So still no anti-skate. On an all-in-one unit with a 3600L, it's not a huge deal. I know that people make it a big deal, but even a good all-in-one like this is, you're not going to realize the type of nuances and things that would be impacted by something like that. If StackStone is watching this review, they're probably throwing things at the screen right now because one of the upgrades, apparently, as I dig deeper into the box, is an anti-skate device. Interesting. So this weird thing that we saw momentarily earlier is apparently, I've never seen anything like this, an anti-skate device. I'm a little nervous because the tutorial includes making sure that you have the cover to the stylus on, not off, but on. That's assuming you're using this. And by the way, it does come with a felt platter mat. I just haven't put it on yet. I, however, am going to set it the proper way using the blank record and the stylus itself. So essentially we need to install this thing into the back of the tone arm assembly. All right, so there's this little rod here that I didn't notice before, and that one. Apparently we're supposed to push it in like this, and then the weight of this will vary depending on where we rotate this piece of metal right here, and it will gently nudge the tone arm via this away from pulling into the center like it was before. So I just need to fiddle with that until I get it set properly. If this works, I totally like this idea better than a hanging weight. Something about the swinging thing in the back, I don't like that as much. So the idea that we can do it with this method, I think that's pretty cool. All right, looks like we picked a good value right off the bat. Maybe a little too much applied. It should pull in a little bit from the outside, but at least it's not pulling in. I'd rather have it not pull in at all than to pull in too much. So let me go ahead and decrease the weight a little bit, see if we can get it to pull in. That's with it fully retracted into the lightest position possible. And it's still pretty neutral. Yeah, I feel that's good because it's pulling to the center a bit, which is what I want. So yeah, that's really cool. I dig it. That's neat. Never seen that before, but I'm all about it. I'm quite fascinated by that. Have you guys ever seen anything like this? Usually an anti-skate mechanism is invisible. I mean, you see a knob to adjust it, but it lives under the plinth or inside the tone arm assembly, and it's usually a spring. And what's cool about this is, unlike a spring, it's not going to stretch out over time. It's going to be a constant value. And it's adjustable because you can always rotate this down to increase it even more if you need to, all the way down to the bottom there. And in so doing, you're able to, completely make that adjustable, and thereby allowing you to upgrade the cartridge to something better, different. So motor on this thing is dead silent too. In fact, I didn't realize it was still spinning while I was filming a minute ago and I touched the disc, and I was like, oh, it's still moving. I didn't even realize it. All right, we got the dust cover on there. As I mentioned in the previous video, this is a nearly full-size platter, but it actually allows about a 1/2 inch overhang with the record, which means you can get a really good grip on it when you're placing the record, which is really nice. I actually prefer that. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. There's also been a software update. That's going to be a hard one to quantify, you know, exactly what that software update impacts, whether it's reliability, sound processing. I'm not sure what a software update would do for the sound quality. Hopefully there's no processing of the audio from the stylus. Hopefully that's a purely analog circuit to the speakers and to the outputs. I'm guessing it's more about the Bluetooth in and out, and either the quality of the Bluetooth or the functionality and the compatibility of the Bluetooth. That one's hard to really demonstrate on camera. But I think what I want to do next is just play it with the ambient speakers so you guys can hear what this thing sounds like. We did the direct feed in the other one. You've heard it 3600L direct feed many times. So if you want to check out the direct feed, do that. But let's ambiently play a record that we know sounds good in the room and give it a listen with these speakers. For music, we are going to be using Enoch Light, but it's not what you think. We're using a different Enoch Light. So Enoch Light happens to be pretty YouTube-friendly music and good sounding, but I'm trying to spice it up with more stuff. I get dinged on the most ridiculous things that YouTube won't let me use. This I've used before, not extensively, but this is Enoch Light's Action album. So very 60s, and it sounds good. So what we're going to do is going to power it on. It's 33 RPM, and I'm going to put the camera facing towards the device. It'll be a mono pickup, but that's okay because, again, the stereo separation is minimal on this anyway. Sounds incredible. Like, I love the sound. It's bright, but there's bass, which isn't going to come across on YouTube, but it sounds really, really good. It sounds like a set of medium-sized floor speakers. This music has a lot of brass in it, so it's hard to know the sibilance is going to sound, so I might put on something that's classical after this just so we can hear a different type of music. Friend of mine, I've been kind of texting back and forth as I'm filming this, showed him that Antiskate mechanism, and he showed me a picture of a Marantz unit that used one that looked very similar. So I guess it's been around before. News to me. All right, we've got a different record on now. We've got this one right here, and this is actually a quad record, but quad records are backwards compatible with non-quad players. So this should show off sort of the higher ends, how much clarity it has. So here we go. Okay, final thoughts on this. It's great. I mean, $250 well spent. This would be such a good beginner turntable for somebody. If they don't have speakers right off the bat, if they don't have an external sound system, it's got built-in speakers that sound really good. Or once they upgrade to a bigger sound system, if they choose to do that, they're set because they can just plug it straight into that. Bluetooth in and out. You know, it's got speed adjustments. It's got a nice heavy platter. It sounds really good. It's upgradable. It's got Antiskate now, which is great. So I think that they've made some very smart improvements. And I think this is definitely an improved version of what was already a good system. All right, my friends, and that is going to do it. I'll go ahead and put a link down below. I think this is a fantastic, fantastic unit. Would love to hear your thoughts as well. But that's going to do it for today. So happy record hunting, and we'll see you next time.